Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmates. I am the first discussant for today's topic about the lesson 9, the school culture. So, before proceeding to our discussion, have you ever asked yourself of the things about schools like, why do schools have mission? Why do schools have visions? And why is there a lot of things to be followed in school? And so on. But we will never know if we hadn't jumped into the discussion. And so, without further ado, let's talk about the school culture. School culture is a set of norms, beliefs, values, traditions, symbols, and stories that are to make a persona of a school. School culture can be defined as a guiding belief and values evident in a way a school operates. School culture can be used to encompass all the attitude, expected behaviors, and values that impacted how the school operates. This is according to Fulan of 2007. The culture of the school consists primarily of the underlying norms, values, and beliefs that teachers and administrators hold about teaching and learning. That culture is also composed of traditions and ceremonies. Schools hold to build community and reinforce their values. Every school has underlying assumptions about what staff member will discuss at meeting, which teaching techniques work well, how amenable the staff is to change, and how critical staff development is. This is also according to Dr. Kent D. Patterson. That core set of belief underlies the school's overall culture. Furthermore, whatever the practice of the school is a manifestation of the school culture. The term is also generally referred to the belief, perceptions, relationships, attitudes, and written and unwritten rules that shapes and influence every aspect of how a school functions, which encompasses more concrete issues such as physical and emotional safety of students and orderliness of classroom and public spaces, or the degree to which a school embraces and celebrates racial, ethnic, linguistic, cultural diversity, ASEAN integration, and internationalization, among others. Students, parents, teachers and administrators, and school personnel, as well as community in which the school is located, the policies that govern how it operates, the principles among which the school was funded, the vision and mission, the objective and the core values, among other, contributes to the school culture. In a large scale, a school culture results from both conscious and unconscious perspective, values, interactions, and practices. And it is heavily shaped by a school's, particularly the institutional histories. There are two basic forms of school culture, the positive and the negative culture. Positive school culture are conducive to professional satisfaction, moral and effectiveness, as well as to student learning, fulfillment, and well-being. First on the list is the professional learning communities, that encourages teachers to communicate, share expertise, and work together more collegially and productively. Second one is the presentation, seminars, and learning experiences or symposium. This is designed to educate staff and students about bullying and reduces instances of bullying in school to promote positive environment. Events and educational experience that honor and celebrates racial, ethnic, and linguistic diversity of the student's body, such as hosting cultural events and festivals, exhibiting culturally relevant materials throughout the school. Just like, for example, when praying, other sect, we don't force them to do sign of cross, for they were not used in their sect to do such thing. The fourth one is the advisory program. Advisory program that pair a group of students with adult advisor to strengthen adult-student relationship and ensure that students are well known and supported by at least one adult in school. That is why we have teachers. Student, parents, and teacher survey about their experiences in the school and hosting community forums that invites participants to share their opinions about and recommendation for the school in its program. The sixth one is the leadership team, comprising a representative cross-section of school administrators, teachers, students, parents, and community members that oversees and leads a school improvement initiative. For school culture to contribute to improve student learning, it requires a focus on learning, a focus on collaboration, a focus on SMART or the specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound goals, and result as it needs timely and relevant information.
Second in line, we have the classifications of culture. There are several classifications of culture. These are according to the following. First, we have the dynamism. This classification is either static or dynamic. A static culture is one in which the same culture or the same cultural patterns are transmitted from generation to generation, while the dynamic culture is where cultural patterns continue to change as they are passed on from one generation to another. In a general sense, cultural dynamism encompasses the numerous aspects of culture that continue to change and evolve based on major external forces in human life. From this context, one discerns his or her personal and national identities with any given society through cultural dynamism. Second, we have stability. It describes stable culture where the cultural practices is satisfying to the group. An unstable culture does not satisfy the people. Basic cultural stability can be put in an enterprise. Coca-Cola is a classic example of a production company with a culture of stability. It operates with a clear hierarchy of commands and control, with CEOs that see their primary task as enforcing policies. As a result, every Coca-Cola produced everywhere in the world lives up to the same high standards. One of the Coca-Cola's biggest ever innovations was the introduction of New Coke. A small skunk works group worked the project all the way through, leaking nothing until the last minute when the new formula was shipped to every bottler in the world for a coordinated worldwide launch. The product was superior on the dimensions of initial mouth appeal, but the brand failed. As a result, the company swallowed its pride and relaunched Classic Coke. It's an example of why stable production companies should think twice about revolutionary innovations. The third classification of culture is the form or component. This classification is best described in terms of material culture that consists of all the tools, equipment, weapons, automobiles and trucks, ships, airplanes, clothing, and etc. On the other hand, non-material culture consists of the social, economic, political, educational, and other institutions that a group has established. Material culture refers to the physical objects, resources, and spaces that people use to define their culture. For example, technology is a vital aspect of material culture in today's United States. American students must learn to use computers to survive in college and businesses. In contrast to young adults in the Yanomamo society in the Amazon who must learn to build weapons and hunt. Non-material culture refers to the non-physical ideas that people have about their culture, including beliefs, values, rules, norms, morals, language, organization, and institutions. For instance, the non-material cultural concept of religion consists of a set of ideas and beliefs about God, worship, morals, and ethics. These beliefs then determine how the culture responds to its religious topics, issues, and events.
The number 3, fashions of culture as it relates to school. Culture performs significant function which may be related to school practices. First is a means of social control. Individual as member of society manifested behaviors according to a set of laws, disciplines, policies, and guidelines among others. The second one is a means of communication. Members of the group share similar, if not the same language, where engagement and transaction is easier among the members of the group. The third one, establishment of ethical standards, with the standards set by the group specifically on what is right and wrong. Cultural patterns relate to this is established. Provision of education. The provision of education by the group society become a part of culture to gain knowledge, skills, and attitude for the present and the next generation. Hence, a culture is achieving education becomes a practice. The last one is development of character. With the practice of culture in a group, moral and ethical standards are developed in the individual as a member of the group.
The 4 characteristics of a healthy school culture. First, the physical safety. The school must be safe to children to stay because children are active and playful inside the classroom. The school must be welcoming to everyone to learn, to engage, and feel warm. Also, the school must be support learning for children to have them to gain knowledge, experience, and to develop their skills, talents, and attitudes. Examples of physical safety is, after an activity, the equipment used should put properly in place and be organized. Make staff, students, and parents aware of all safety policies. Provide teacher a safety training. Organize a school safety team. Sanitize everything and all the dangerous supplies should be out of reach. Design the room properly and use proper equipment properly. Second, the social relationship. The school must have group activities, children to learn cooperation, teamwork and camaraderie, respect for others, to encourage and value each other, to create and gain knowledge, also from teachers to have an effective learnings to have to change to our country. Examples of relationship is through a group activity or students play for their free time. The third one is emotional environment. To provide students with emotional support, understand their feelings, and to feel positive around the environment. Teach them to treat each other with respect and use appropriate communication when in class. Learn to listen to others, understand differences that makes us all unique and important. To know how to express themselves in a way that is appropriate, respectful, and thoughtful. For example, create an activity that can give time for them to listen and talk to know each individual, to have a safe space to everyone, and to know and respect to everyone. The last is academic support. Program and strategy used by school to increase the academic achievement of students, to provide extra support to students. For example, to have a tutoring session, summer learning experience, teacher advisor, ways of grouping, counseling, and instructing students. That is the 4 characteristics of a healthy school culture.
The 5 characteristics of a school culture. Number 1, shared goals and vision. We know where we're going. Vision is the destination that one visualizes and wants to achieve, while goals is a skill, competency, and qualities that should possess upon completion of a course or a program. We know where we're going. It means to have a clear knowledge of what one wants to achieve and the determination to make it happen. When individuals are empowered to take ownership of their goals, it can cause a shift in the culture of a school. As individuals learn how to work in alignment with the school's vision and values, a new set of relationship norms are created which are less to do with individuals seeking success for their own class, team, or the department, but are now more to do with generating and seeking whole school success. The vision of the school is not just understood but also shared by all, from the senior management team through the support staff. Everyone knows what the goals means and how they relate to the achievement of the school's vision. Individuals are clear about the actions that they need to take for these goals to be fulfilled. Number 2, collegiality. We're in this together. School culture is important where there is strong camaraderie between all staff when relationships build upon trust and understanding. The professional bonds that exist among staffs and members are strong enough to weather the storms that can hit school communities. There is a shared sense of belonging, purpose, and a desire for the vision of the school to be fulfilled. No one is working for themselves, no one is left out. All staffs are made to feel welcome and everyone is treated as a part of the team. Continuous improvement and lifelong learning. We can always get better. Individuals in a positive school culture know that there is always capacity and room for improvement. Opportunities for learning and development are seen in all aspects of school life and not just limited to going out on a process. Staffs are empowered to view themselves as lifelong learners and to help facilitate the learning of others within the school. Learning is seen as a key part of the adult learning journey, enabling individuals to achieve varying degrees of personal and professional maturity. Number 4, risk-taking. We learn by trying something new. When risk-taking is commonplace, there is a freedom, courage, and a joy in which teachers and senior leaders go about their daily tasks. Creativity is let loose and individuals discover previously unidentified routes for fulfilling their potential. In this culture, a growth mindset is adopted by all and such mistakes are not seen as a failure but as a source of learning and growth. By trialing ideas, initiatives, and experimenting with new ways of doing things, staff and school learners learn what they want and what bands become bigger and better version of themselves. Last, number 5, celebration and humor. We feel good about ourselves. In a positive school culture, achievements, whether big or small, are appreciated and celebrated. Research has shown that when we feel good about ourselves and our achievements are recognized, we not only feel better about ourselves, but it also optimizes the way in which our brains function. We are more likely to enter a state of flow and so maximize our own levels of performance. Thus, celebrating team and individual success is the key to the development of high-performing teams. On top of this, joy and laughter are presented in school life. The school day provides everyone with opportunities to relax, reflect, to be themselves with colleges, and to have moments when there can be less serious. When this is the case, staff feel more content and passionate in their own lives.
Relationships come before everything. Building a positive environment in individual classrooms and throughout your whole school is a matter of cultivating and maintaining relationships. It takes commitment and consistency from the whole team, administrators, teachers, and support staff. You can make it happen, though, even in the most challenging school environments. There are 8 ways for improving school culture based on the Boys Town education model, which has helped hundreds of troubled schools turn their school classroom around. By Dana Truby of January 2018. First, we have the build strong relationships. Success at creating a well-mannered school depends more than anything else on the quality of the relationships the teachers forge with students. Staff-student relationships influence everything from the social climate to the individual performance of the students. Research clearly declared that when students feel liked and respected by their teachers, they find more success in school, academically and behaviorally. Conversely, when interpersonal relationships are weak and trust is lacking, fear and failure will likely start to define school culture. Building strong relationships need to be a whole school priority. Teachers then need to have time to talk to their students in and out of the classroom. The goal should be for every adult in the building to maintain a high rate of positive interactions with students and to show genuine interest in their lives, their activities, their goals, and their struggles. Second, we have the teach essential social skills. How to share, how to listen to others, how to disagree respectfully. These are the kind of essential social skills we expect our students to have. Whether it is first grade or 11th grade, we need to prepare to teach appropriate social and emotional behaviors. Behavior should be treated like academics, and students should be taught the skills they need to execute desired behaviors. These behaviors and values include honesty, sensitivity, concern, and respect for others, a sense of humor, reliability, and etc. There's a need for teachers to identify the social skills you want your students to have and the step-by-step routines to teach them. Third, we have get on the same page. Every classroom environment contributes to your school culture. There's a need to create a shared vision of the school. This means developing consistent school rules and ways of defining and meeting student behavior. When students believe that the rules are fair and consistently enforced, it goes a long way toward building trust. Inappropriate behavior should not be laughed off in one classroom and punished in another. Fourth, we have be role models. At school, students learn by watching just as they learn by doing. Observing the actions of other influences, how they respond to their environment, and cope with unfamiliar situations. Think about what messages your staff's behavior communicates. For example, research has shown that when a student is rejected by peers, the rejection is more likely to stop if the teacher models warm and friendly behavior to the isolated student. The opposite is also true. As educators, you set the tone. Fifth is the clarify classroom and school rules. It should be in mind that classroom rules are communicated to the expectations of students. They tell students, this is the positive environment you deserve. This is the standard of behavior we know you can achieve. Positive rules help create a predictable, stable environment that is more conducive to healthy interactions. Ideally, classroom rules are simple and declarative. Policies on these issues should be clear from the overarching expectations for good behavior. Most important, rules need to be consistent across the building. The same expectation need to apply in the classroom, the gym, and the cafeteria. 6. Teach all students problem solving. Problems will always come up inside and outside of school. Students are much more likely to recognize and resolve them appropriately when we teach them how to do so. Problem solving can also be used retrospectively or with the luxury of hindsight to help students make better decisions in the future. Seventh, set appropriate consequences. Establishing classroom and school-wide rules and procedures is an important step in any effort to bring more structure to the school. Effective consequences show young people the connection between what they do and what happens as a result of their choices or actions. Consequences need to be appropriate, immediate, and consistent. Last, we have the praise students for good choices. Many of the students, especially those who struggle, do not receive nearly enough positive feedback in the classroom or in their personal lives. According to the Erin Green of 2016, when kids are taught with a proactive, praise-heavy approach, they need to do better.